आशीष सर वहाँ से मैसेज डाल दीजिए एक जूम से, यहाँ से डल जाएगा। हाँ
Good evening, parents and students. Thanks a lot for joining us today in the Glance session. I am Chetan Dikshit. I'm a faculty of physics here at Kota. I have with me Vikram Bharadwaj sir as well. He is a faculty of physics, mathematics, sorry, and I have Ankur Tripathi sir as well, who is also a faculty of mathematics, and he takes up mental abilities as well. All three of us together, we are heading this overseas journey of Allen, just to make sure that the best of this Allen ecosystem comes to you guys at your convenience, right? I think with this you must be able to see the opening slide. This is a glance session that we have bought for you all, which will have the flavors of guidance, learning and nurturing, and we all will touch upon how these three aspects will help you as a student and also as a parent to ensure that you guys come out with flying colors in this journey of academic excellence that you've chosen, right? With that, I think let's jump right into it. Sorry if you guys are seeing us without masks. Just a note that we all have been tested negative, and we all are maintaining all the social distancing standards, not only here in this studio but everywhere in Kota as well. So be rest assured about that, and we also encourage that you guys practice social distancing as well. To start off this session, I think it's very important, especially the cohort of students and parents that have joined us from 8th to 9th moving and from 9th moving to 10th. These are very essential formative years for all of you, and we stress it because it's not only the student who has to ride this journey, it is equally important for the parent to become a sarthi for the students in this journey, and a very mature sarthi at that. And I don't intend to use this word mature in a rude manner to the parents, because expected from parents to be mature with their student feeding. But what we are saying is we as a system, all of us have now seen more than 2 million students across India, and not only the students, the parent interactions. And with that legacy and with that learning, we come to you and humbly submit that parents, especially at this age group, parents are going to be playing a very pivotal role in ensuring where their students go, in ensuring how their students do in their life and what they do in their life, right? And how good of a citizen they come out to be, right, when they are out of the education system and finally contributing to society. I think with that, Vikram sir, do you want to pounce upon how we are going to lead this session and what we are going to do here?
Sure. Thank you so much, Chetan sir, for the kind introduction and talking about the uncertainties of today and how the careers of children would span out in the future.
Yeah.
Generally, at this point in time, when the students are in their 9th standard or 10th standard, for that matter of fact, students are still deciding as to, what kind of subject is what, interests to them, whether it's engineering, whether it's medical, what would they want to pursue as a career going forward. And when it comes to engineering and medical, obviously, a lot of students and parents who are associated with us, they are either NRIs or OCIs, so they would like to come back to India because of the premier institutions that are available to them and the options, the variety of institutions that are available to them back here in India at affordable costs.
Yeah.
So that's when students start thinking about whether I would want to pursue my engineering or I would want to pursue my medical from India. When it comes to engineering, I think students have many options in terms of the top IITs that are available to them, which is Indian Institutes of Technologies. Then you have NITs, which are National Institutes of Technologies. You have CFTIs, centrally funded technical institutions, and SPAs, Schools of Planning and Architecture. So couple of options in the engineering stream when it comes to the students.
Yeah.
As well as, there's architecture as a stream available to the students as well. When it comes to medical institutions, again, top most government medical colleges here in India, which are very, very reputed, whether JIPMA, AIMS, and there are so many other institutions, a whole cohort of them.
Yeah.
And then apart from the government medical institutions, students also have private medical institutions that students would want to go for.
Yeah.
And when it comes to NRI students, they have specific quotas also that are applicable to them.
Yeah.
And government also wants that the NRI students return back to India, and study over here, because we have the topmost faculties, when it comes to research and development specifically. These institutions are very well advanced,
Yeah.
whether IITs or the topmost medical institutions. So a lot of students feel like coming back to India and pursuing their undergraduation. A lot of students come back in 11th standard, right, and prepare with us and get into these top institutions. But at the same time, now with Allen Overseas, a slight change in terms of inclination that we have already started observing with Gulf students is that they would want to prepare with us from 9th standard onwards, and this would be a 4-year journey for them to get into the topmost premier institutions here in India.
Yeah, I think thanks for giving us the flavor of how the engineering or medical path would look like for the overseas students, especially if you are at the current stage of your academics. This is the time when you decide. And with that, I think, Ankur sir, I would want you to talk about why at this stage exposure becomes a very important aspect. And I think you will talk about the guidance in the NTSCs, the RMOs, the IJSOs, and the astronomy Olympiads, and all the other suite of exposures that are available in the Allen ecosystem, and how will they?
I think for the students who are moving from 8th class, you can just, the parents, they can just log on to the website of CAT, Common Aptitude Test, Common Admission Test for the IIMs. Just log on to the website, go to the syllabus and go to that quantitative reasoning syllabus. You would find all those topics which you are seeing in that CAT examination, quantitative reasoning, all those topics are 8th class mathematics topics. There is SIRS, square roots, percentages, all those topics. I mean, just imagine anyone who is graduating from a recognized college or a recognized university. That person has to give an examination which is covering the 8th class syllabus. So this gives you a glimpse that whatever syllabus has been decided, it has been decided to give you an exposure which is very much necessary for any competitive examination you would be facing in your life. Whether it's an engineering examination, whether it's medical examination. For that reason, if you are going for an IIM examination, still you would be looking at that syllabus which you have already studied in your 8th class or 9th class. So the students who are moving from 8th to 9th, they can get that glimpse going to that CAT website. The students who are moving from 9th to 10th, they can simply go to their neighbors or some any elder sister, brother you may be having, and you can just ask them if they are, any one of them is studying in class 11th or 12th. Just look at the syllabus and you would find that your entire +1 science is the 9th class science, +2 science is replica from 10th class. So you will be able to see that whatever you are learning in your class 9th, let's say students who have moving from 9th to 10th, just pick up your physics book. Chetan sir would be happy to introduce you those topics, those motion in one dimension and Newton's laws of motion. All those topics would be covering in your +1. So these 2 years, this 9th and 10th, these are the foundational years. They are related for any competitive examination. And if you would start preparing yourself, if you would be getting in that fire of that test yourself for any competitive examination, you will get to know that you are preparing for that ultimate aim, ultimate dream college. And for that reason, if you can just go to the slide which we are presenting, you can see the students who are moving to 9th class to 10th class, a very relevant examination for them is NTSC, National Talent Search Examination. It's conducted by NCERT only for class 10th students, and the best part for the students who are studying in countries like Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, all of you can directly skip the stage 1 of the examination and you can attempt the stage 2 examination. I mean, for Indian students, just go through that website and you will get to know more about this examination. Indian students have to first compete for the stage 1. They have to be amongst top 4,000 across India. then they are eligible for stage 2 examination. And for all the overseas students, stage 2 examination is on their palette, that they can simply go ahead and give that stage 2 examination, which will give them an exposure, that international exposure which is required. Many students come to us, many parents say, we are focusing for any foreign studies, we want to send our ward to Canada, Australia. For that profile building, examination like NTSC, examination like RMO, INJSO, Astronomy Olympiad, they will help you a lot to build your profile. And for that, you need a learning which is not just foundational, but it is building your strong academic base for any examination.
So that reminds me of a point wherein Olympiads have played a very, very strong role, especially just last year when we were teaching students at Qatar. There was an NRI student named Aditya who got a silver medal for his country, Qatar, in IJSO. So he represented Qatar in International Junior Science Olympiad and got a silver medal back to his country. So I think, Olympiads also go a long way. As rightly mentioned by Sir, we have previously seen instances wherein students who have excelled at Olympiads, they have gotten into the topmost institutions, because when it comes to profile building, obviously Olympiads play a major role. Whether it be NUS, National University of Singapore, NTU, Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, or Oxford University for that matter of fact. Olympiads go a long way. And apart from Olympiads, obviously, your foundation program in your class 9th and 10th standard would lay a very, very strong emphasis on the fundamentals of science as well as mathematics. And apart from that, we would also be covering social studies and mental abilities for you guys. So mental abilities and logical reasoning also plays a very big role, because that is something that you wouldn't be covering in your school curriculum. But Alan would lay a strong emphasis on mental ability and logical reasoning, so that when you have to grasp the advanced concepts in later stages of your career, in your 11th and 12th standard, you're able to do it very, very quickly, because mental ability, logical reasoning and critical thinking is something that would come to play, when you have to advance to those concepts in 11th and 12th class.
Absolutely. I think and I always discuss this fact with most of the peoples. Whenever you have anything which is goal oriented, anything which has an end result associated to it, I would say it's very similar to a treasure hunt. Have you ever played a treasure hunt? In a treasure hunt, you are out in the open in a very vast area, which will have a lot of features into it. It might be trees, ponds, mountains, or whatever. And you have to find a hidden object which is of value to all the participants. Let's say I will take a simple example. You are doing an IIT JEE examination, right? What is thrown at you is a vast amount of subject syllabus that has to be covered, right? And the end goal is that seat in the IIT, that is a treasure, that is an object of value for almost 10 lakh students in India who are sitting for it, right? And if you have to get into some reasonable conclusion at the end of it, the way I would play my treasure hunt game is, if I'm in this open field, I will first decide, instead of going around mindlessly, instead of trying to cover all the aspects of that feature on my foot, I would rather set a few ground principles. I would rather structure my hunt. What I'll do is, it is impossible for me to visit the whole area. Let's say it's 10 acres and you have to find it in 1 hour. It's impossible. I would rather find the probabilities. If I do this, if I figure this area out correctly, if I understand this area out correctly, I can totally imagine, let's say if this is a vast piece of land and it's a flat land, looks like this is not that probable of a land where the treasure I would find. Instead, a very thick vegetative forest or a very high mountain can be a feature, or a big pit can be a feature where I can just roam around. All I'm trying to say is, in that journey you need structure and you need a certain guidance, and you need a certain preponderance, meaning you have to have a plan in your mind. Similarly, when you're starting in this journey, it's not easy. I again remind you, and I think Ankur sir and Vikram sir will stress more on it, this is not a journey which is leisurely in nature. You will not enjoy it. It's like wearing a sweater in a hot summer, right? It's uncomfortable, but there is a certain reason to doing it. IIT JEE, or NEET for that matter, or for anything else that you're going to do in your life. It can be admission into an Ivy League college. It can be, becoming another hotshot coder in your life. It can be acquiring a skill or acquiring a trait that you think you want to perform or excel at. It can be photography for that matter. Leisurely photography and photography of passion and professional photographers. There's a huge gap in between. You will see how principled they are. Even though it might look like photography is nothing but clicking a button, right? But it's not, it's hard. So what we're trying to say is, if it's a treasure hunt, you need a plan. You can't just go around randomly and think I'll get result at the end of, I'll keep looking at where the light is and I'll find my treasure. That's not the way. In IIT JEE as well, in Olympiads, in IJSOs, in RMOs, in NTSC for that matter, all you need is a proper guidance, a know-how of how to learn, a nurturing from a very well ecosystem. And when I mean ecosystem, I mean your parents as well and us as well as mentors. And together, all of it can give you a plan of action through which the probability of you achieving something will increase. And that is all that we want to do when we are introducing you through this glance session to the competitive space and competitive examinations in general. Moving on, I think Ankur sir, Vikram sir, would you want to talk about learning as an aspect and what role a parent plays in the journey of a student's life?
Absolutely, sir. So having talked about guidance and where all can we pitch in and help you, whether it's your IIT journey, NEET journey, or the Olympiad journey, or for that matter of fact, we'll also be coming to your school curriculum preparation and examinations as well. But the next step to it is learning, and learning keeps on ongoing. I mean, it's not something that stops at a certain age. Learning is something that applies to everyone, whether it is to us as a parent, to us as a teacher, or to us as a student. So biggest goal for a parent is to see that his child is successful in his future, no matter whatever he takes up or she takes up going forward, but everyone wants their child to be successful. And for that, parents also play in a huge role. I mean, parents, they act as a support system for their kids, making sure that they get the right guidance going forward, and that's the role of a parent towards their child in making their successful journey. Ankur sir, we have been interacting with a lot of parents previously.
Yes.
So what are the kind of insights that we receive from the parents, and what are their concerns around their children when it comes to education?
Yes, I think mostly these parents think that we have associated our ward with the system, they should perform well. Well, this is the biggest myth. Not just getting associated with the system would give you that end result which you are aiming for, but as rightly said by Chetan sir, if you have been told to wear a sweater in a hot summer, there may be some reason behind it. Yeah. If you are being pulled out of that comfort zone, okay, I was leisurely waking up at this time, I'm now going to school, I'm coming back, doing my homework, and I just get to sleep. If you are coming out of that comfort zone, there has to be some reason for it, firstly. Secondly, you have to entirely change your schedule. You have to come up with new thought process. And parents, not just associating with the system would help, but instead of that, you can always give them a conducive environment to study and be in touch with the teachers to know what exactly, where exactly the things are lacking, how to improve those skills of your ward. I think that part is very much necessary if you look at the angle from the parents part. Moving ahead, as you will be able to see, these are the 5 key elements for which builds a career for a student, and these all 5 these key elements play a very important role for not just building your skill set, but building you as a human being for the development of the humanity, until unless you don't have that first thing, aptitude and attitude. So we have seen students coming out, I mean, the dear parents, we all are teachers, and we have seen a lot of students who have that learning attitude, but they don't want to excel in examination. They are just having that, okay, we have that aptitude but not the attitude. Some students come to us, they say, I can study for 10 hours but still I am not able to get the result. I think there must be a balance between the attitude and aptitude, which would help you in building your skills required for your academics. So the first thing I would stress on, as a student, you must work upon your aptitude and attitude. As a parent, I have already told you, not just associating them, but also keeping a constant touch with the teachers, just looking at their test performance, discussing with the teachers, giving them a conducive environment at home, helping them out, because at emotional level a student is associated with you. So you have to give them that bonding, and then once you have that aptitude and attitude, then comes, I think, the subject knowledge. Vikram sir would be able to give more glimpse on that.
So absolutely, subject knowledge is a must when it comes to especially, the examinations like Olympiads, IIT JEE or NEET, wherein the subject knowledge and the concepts are tested at length. I mean, whatever we study in school, that's at a particular, ground reality might be attached to it, in the sense that the concept may be covered in terms of its definition, properties might be covered, formulas might be given, but these Olympiads test that particular concept at length. And when I say at length, probably they would also want you to apply the concept in a real life scenario as well, probably apply that to a numerical problem as well, and see how things pan out. So this is what exactly we at Allen do, wherein we cover the concepts at length and try to explore different facets that are attached to a particular concept, right? So let's say if I have to just talk about an example, maybe in your subjective test that happens in the school, you might be asked what are the properties of light. But let's say in an Olympiad, you might be given 3 to 4 different confusing options, and the question might be framed in a way wherein they might be asking you which of these is not a property of light. So you need to know all the properties of light, and you need to exactly understand maybe what is the property of sound, and you need to check box on that, no, this is not the property of light, but it is a property of sound. So I think that's when, you'll have an exhaustive end-to-end understanding of the concept that you have already studied. So subject knowledge is a must, and at Allen, we can't stress enough on subject knowledge. We have big time subject matter experts over here at Allen that train you, that guide you throughout the complete year for that particular subject. These are the faculties who have mentored top ranks, whether in IIT JEE, NEET, Olympiads or any other international competitive examination. So very strong academic base. The third point being the strong academic base is required for the students to adapt to these examinations and perform well in them. And the fourth and fifth being analytical skills and competitive exposure. Chetan sir, would you want to talk a little about the analytical skills that people need to possess, and what kind of problem solving skills are required at this particular era that we are going through?
Absolutely. I mean, just to extend the points of Ankur sir and Vikram sir, analytical skills and competitive exposure and competitive attitude is not developed over a day's time, is not developed over a month's time, is not developed over a quarter of month's time. It takes years and years to develop that composure, that persistence, that attitude and that ability to excel in an area where there will be thousands upon thousands, in fact lakhs upon lakhs of people who will be intending to crack the same thing that you want to crack. And to come out of that successful is a story of years and years of hard work. Not a single rank holder in any field will tell you, I just woke up in the morning, appeared for this test and was through because I am such a talented person. Not a single person. And I think we speak with a legacy of 32 years of seeing more than 2 million students in our ecosystem. And when we say that, I hope, and we say it with all humbleness, that even if you are one of the best at your early age, and we know there are a lot of talented students, there are a lot of prodigies who are out there, and we would love to be associated with them as well. Without the hard work, they are as good as a very sharp painter without fingers. I mean, you have that skill, but you don't have the intent, it's not going to help, right? With that, I think analytical skills and competitive exposures are something which are not only developed through your own self-learning and personal learning, but also exposing yourself to being challenged from, let's say, your faculty's ideas, your peers' ideas, getting into that sea of being questioned, getting questioned, answering difficult questions which will force you to think critically, to apply a knowledge which is taught in a certain aspect and extend that application to a different level. For example, a definition of light and then solving a real life problem by knowing that definition of light are two different things. And that bridge, that connection is your analytical skill. Understand that, right? Elon Musk says it in almost every interview of his, that every problem that comes to his mind, he thinks it from first principles. And what are first principles? First principles are nothing but just asking what is here that I'm trying to solve. And as simple as it looks, this is nothing but analytical skill. It's hard. For example, he's like, how do I reach to Mars? So the basic questions that should come to an analytical mind is, I need to reach to Mars, that means I need a transport vehicle first. I reach Mars, that means I need an ecosystem to live there, because right now I'm in Earth. So I'm just giving you a flavor of how to think fundamentally, how to think analytically. And this gets developed when you have a mentorship of thousands upon thousands of hours of teaching,
yes,
and history of teaching right kind of mindset. So we all of us give you an ecosystem so that your analytical skills are developed. And finally, competitive exposure. When you are in an ecosystem of more than 2 lakh students, you are faced with the realities of how everyone else is performing on the same exam paper. So that the final exam, the final day of reckoning, which is going to be the exactly same thing, you are prepared for that. Anxiousness, jitteriness, nervousness are the part and parcel of competitive exposure. And if you have not done that before, I mean, if a person who has been, let's say, preparing for IIT JEE for the last 2 years in his home is guaranteed to fail in that final exam if he has not exposed himself to test papers and all those things. So I think with that, let's move on to, and the next slide is a very beautiful slide, success pillar triangle, and this talks about how all these 3 ingredients, three fundamental pillars, students, their teachers and mentors, and most importantly their parents and family, which have to come together to ensure that a successful journey is completed in a very, very happy, jolly way for the student. Because it does not have to be only a success story, it has to be a success story worth having. So Ankur sir, if you want to talk about why, apart from these 3 fundamental pillars, the peripherals, the IQ, the EQ and the PTM,
yes,
why are they important and how they are? Yeah.
I think when we interact with the parents, they always say that my ward is giving so much of time in studying, but still they are not able to score good ranks, they are not able to score better in their test, their test performance is there, it's quite stagnant, it's not increasing, and it's kind of worrisome factor for the parents. But well, you need to understand, as a parent, as you can see the slide, as a parent you have 2 arms, one to reach out to your ward and the other to reach out to the teachers, and both of these arms should work in coordination. Whenever your ward is saying something that I may not be able to grasp this concept because well, I am very much occupied with my schools, the school project and the school homework, I am not able to do this, then so that other arm which is reaching out to the Allen system or any system in that case should immediately inform the teachers and the system, this is the problem my ward is facing and how we can together solve this problem, so that ultimately the student may face that success. So as it says, the slide says PTM. We should not think that PTM is a very subjective term, but we should not think that okay, I'll discuss this in the PTM. PTM may happen after 3 months. By that time, the student's performance would have decreased, and you would have thought that now the recovery from that downward path is next to impossible, or it gets very difficult. So don't wait. So at one point, as a parent, you are emotionally connected to the student. You must immediately inform to the parents, the system. As a system, I am associated with the student on its intelligence quotient, the IQ level. I am working as a faculty with the student to increase his or her knowledge level, to his or her aptitude level, which would help them succeed in any examination. My other arm is to you. If I will feel the student is not able to understand, is not able to score good marks in test, we will discuss it with you. So both these things have to be in coordination, and this does not end at that level of PTM or a simple discussion. That's why we have built that one-to-one mentoring, where a subject faculty interacts with the student to know any academic or non-academic concerns, and then they reach out to a conclusion, okay, this is the best thing for you. So I think that is most important for any student and parents to for the success of the student. Ultimately, what parents think, for them their son, their daughter is only one. For us, there may be an entire class, but ultimately both of us are working towards one aim. Every student should be a success story.
So at the same time, I think when it comes to Alan, Alan has been a strong promoter of PTMs in terms of not just having PTMs at a scheduled time, but there's a constant feedback mechanism that goes into place. We are interacting, our faculties are in regular touch with the students. They understand that what are the areas of improvement for your child. They also understand that where is he excelling. So that constant feedback keeps on happening with the parents as well. And if ever there is any problem with any child in terms of, not being able to perform well in a particular subject, we together find a solution as to how that can be covered. Usually when people are learning in digital classes, sitting back at their homes in their tablets, they don't have access to the faculties that easily. But at Allen, we make sure that, the faculties are accessible to the parents as well as to the students, and we are in regular touch with our students so as to make sure, as you rightly pointed, sir, that every student is a success story at Allen. Quickly moving on to the next slide, which talks about trusting the expert professional. Sir, I think when it comes to sports, people are more comfortable in associating with a coach. But when it comes to competitive education, some of the students, or even the parents for that matter of fact, have an expectation that their school curriculum would sort of suffice, or if they're going to school, it would suffice for the competitive examination preparation as well. Students and parents might have an expectation wherein they would be able to crack Olympiads or maybe IIT JEE or NEET by attending school and not, doing the self-study and understanding the concepts at a very stretched length. But that's where Allen plays a role and, pitches in making you understand that whatever the value of a coach is in terms of, let's say, a sport like swimming or cricket, you would want to associate with an expert in that particular field. Similarly, when it comes to competitive examinations, whether Olympiads, IIT JEE or NEET, Allen is an expert which would be able to help you by providing the complete learning ecosystem which is required to excel in those examinations. Ankur sir, would you like to add to that?
I think most importantly is not just learning. Allen gives you that ecosystem where you are constantly learning the best of the best. You are testing yourself, you are analyzing your mistakes, you are looking at each and every facet of that success. As Chetan sir said in the beginning of this session, that when you see a success story, you are not looking at the failures they might have had. They may have faltered many times, they may had their losing things, they were not succeeding every time. So such gifted childs, or even for the matter not gifted childs, for both of them a system and ecosystem helps them to enhance their performance, their academic performance. As rightly said by Vikram sir, you cannot just go to the school, learn each and every concept, come back and apply those concepts in a competitive examination and you may think I can excel in these examinations, because Allen as a system is not just giving you that, okay, this topic has to be taught in this fashion. We will also tell you, out of this, there have been 2 questions in the previous JEE examinations. There have been questions asked in NTSC examination from this topic. This will actually help you out that, okay, whatever I am learning is not just helping me out in learning, but in fact helping me to know where I would be standing. If I'll miss this concept, I will be missing out at least one question. And believe me, as per our past experience, we have seen students who have been doing very good all the year in our test series, and they were expecting we will be reaching out to IIT Delhi, and just 1 or 2 silly mistakes and they were thrown to IIT Kharagpur. So their dream was IIT Delhi, and they thought, okay, my home is also in Delhi, I will be studying there, and suddenly just those 2 or 3 silly mistakes and they were going thousands of kilometers away in IIT Kharagpur. This is the actual reality of life. the actual reality of the competitive examinations, as rightly said by sirs, glance session, guidance, learning and nurture for competitive examination. So we are here to nurture you also, and how that nurturing would happen, we will be covering how Allen system would help you in your improving your performance and giving that system which is helpful. I think we can go ahead, Chetan sir.
Yeah. So I think with that, we've covered a lot of qualitative aspects of how the guidance, learning and nurturing is important, and what are the fundamental pillars of it: students, parents and the mentors or the faculties. Now let's deep dive in to what are the aspects, the physical aspects of delivery of our courses that we have improved upon from last year as well. Mainly we have seen, we started our overseas operation last year, and we've been very nimble and very open in taking all the feedbacks that we've been getting from the parents. And also the last 1 year has been very tumultuous. It has been a very evolving period for all of us. There's been a day of reckoning for all of us in terms of how the learning can happen and how the learning should happen, especially from the competitive examination space. We believe this year we have introduced the complete live learning experience. Last year it was a mix of live and recorded sessions, but this year is going to be a complete live learning for all of you from all classes, starting from class 6 to class 12, right? And one of the reasons is that we have seen students, this format of learning is more palatable to them, given that right now we are living in the completely locked up digital scenario. Obviously, we still believe that physical learning has a different taste to it, has a different effect, but in the digital learning format as well, live learning is something that is more palatable, that is more adaptable to students' needs and to the learning outcomes as well. With that, I think this year, Vikram sir, do you want to talk about what are the challenges we face and how we have sort of evolved those challenges and offered this set of roles and responsibilities from our ecosystem?
Yes, sir, definitely. So when it comes to these examinations, students do prefer physical classes. Nowadays, people are also studying in live classes and digital classes. But our idea at Allen Overseas was to make sure that the Kota faculties, the expert faculties who have been teaching students over here, mentoring students and making them reach to the best of the institutions in the country or even outside, are available and accessible to the students sitting in these 4 countries, which is Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman and Saudi Arabia. So the idea was to make this learning ecosystem available to the students who are residing in these 4 countries. Last year, the feedback that we had received from the students is that because it was a mixed bunch of recorded classes as well as live sessions, so students used to enjoy the live sessions a lot, and a lot of learning used to happen through the live classes as well. In the later stages of our program, actually, initially we were having just doubt classes which were live in the format, but later on we also started having certain conceptual classes as live classes, because we wanted to offer the same experience. And that's the reason why we have decided to go forward with live classes altogether in this particular academic session and going forward, because we wanted to do the doubt sessions in a live format as well as the concept delivery as well in the live format. There would live tests also that would be happening. So one of the challenges that we were facing, and students and parents were also coming up to us with the concern of the timings around these live classes, because what happens, let's say as far as Indian timing is concerned, if I even start at 6:30 p.m. In Saudi Arabia it would be 4 p.m. So what happens if my child is not able to return back by 4 p.m. or let's say if he has another class scheduled at 4 p.m. So we wanted to make sure that the aspect of recorded classes is also available to the students. So even though all the classes would be happening in a live format at a specific time which is convenient to most of the students, but at the same time the recordings of these live classes would also be made available to the students for 36 hours after the live classes have actually happened. So these live classes timings also have been chosen in such a way that they happen sometime in the evening hours when your kid or ward is back to the home after attending the school. So the timings have also been chosen very wisely. But in case you miss out on any of the live class for whatsoever reason it may be, you would also be able to see a recording of that on the Allen digital portal, whose access would be available to you.
Yeah, let's quickly jump on to the how the class frequency will look like and how we can So, Ankur sir, if you want to talk about the class.
Yeah, I think for class 9th and 10th students, as you can see, we will be having your live classes 3 days a week. It's on your screen, 3 days a week, and 2 hours per day. Just in the month of June, July, August, anywhere you will be having those summer vacations, we'll increase the frequency to 3 classes a day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be 2 classes a day, and there would be 3 doubt sessions of 40 minutes each. So, for the students of 9th and 10th, live classes will happen on Sunday, Tuesday and Thursday, while on Monday and Wednesday, you will be having your doubt classes. Friday would be completely off. Saturday, sometimes it would be off, sometimes it would be your test also. So, for 9th and 10th class students, 3 days a week live classes, 2 days a week as the doubt classes. All of them would be live classes, and very rightly said by Vikram sir that live classes bring discipline amongst the students. So, if you are just getting the recorded lectures, once they start piling up, you at some point of time you would feel, okay, I have to watch the videos of at least 10 days. How will I watch them? It's not possible to watch all those videos in 24 hours. So, that's why we want to build that discipline, and the timings have been chosen judiciously so that once you come back from your school, you can attend the classes. We are giving you ample time for, let's say, once the situation improves, you can go for your outdoor activities also, because ultimately it's not just about studies, you need to keep yourself healthy also, go and play out. So, that's why the timings have been judiciously chosen for all the countries, and we believe it will suit to almost every student, whatever timings we have chosen. And we know that the timings may be difficult for the faculty in India, because for them it would be around 8:30, 9 o'clock, they will be reaching out home late. But for the students' perspective, we are ready as a system for anything. And this is one of the most common query the parents ask to us. Who would be the faculty members? Are they very well qualified? Are they teaching from Kota or from any other center? All the parents, rest assured, all the classes will be happening from Kota center. All the faculty members will be taking their live classes from Kota. We have developed the infrastructure, the studios, technical aspects have been developed. We have developed that entire online platform from where the classes would go. Later, you in this presentation, you will see, you will get that feel of that online platform also. So, everything has been developed. Teachers are highly qualified. They are not just qualified, but very well experienced. We are not just hiring some external faculty to teach. All those teachers are well established in the Allen ecosystem. They have been to this we called as Allenatva. They have been into this form where they will be teaching you. So, moving ahead, as you can see, these are the timings. At present, these are still we will decide them with as per the parents' feedback.
So, we'll keep on having feedback from you guys. So, one of the aspects of our learning of our program would be a very hands-on approach to constant feedback loop, and we'll keep on evolving that. And our ability to do that is from the fact that Allen is such a large ecosystem. Right? We have more than 10,000 colleagues in the Allen ecosystem. We have lakhs and lakhs of students attaching with us every year across the country. So, this ecosystem will now be made available to the overseas students, and the comfort for the parents would be that we will have constant feedback from you, and we will keep on evolving on that feedback so that the best is made available to you all.
And when it comes to, I think, so especially our overseas operations, a lot of students do attach with us in their 9th and 10th standard, because they understand that these are the two most crucial years for them, for them to decide what would they want to pursue going forward in their careers. They want to lay a very, very strong foundation, because some of the parents might have plans that they would be shifting back with their kid when the kid gets into their 11th standard. But to reach up to that particular level of aptitude and analytical skills, they want to make sure that the concepts are well in place in 9th and 10th standard, so that they are able to take that leap going forward in their 11th standard. And a lot of students start preparing for examinations like IIT, JEE or NEET from 9th standard onwards, because we have that ecosystem, those facilities available in place. So 9th and 10th, obviously we see a lot of traction of students coming to us and associating with Allen right from their 9th standard.
I think with that, we are towards the end of our presentation, and I think we won't take more than 10 minutes. So let's just quickly show you what platforms would be used to deliver the courses, and how would be the look and feel of it, so that you have a precursor to how you're going to use all of it. So Ankur sir.
Yeah, this is the login page of the BPMS portal. You will be provided with the login ID and password for this this platform, and once you will get this, just remember, student, you can log in only from one system.
Yeah.
So if you are going into your classes from a mobile, you have to log out and then you can access the classes from the laptop. So you have to make sure. So this is how the login page will look. This is the main page. Moving ahead, next page will look. This is this page would show you the live classes which are scheduled for the week, and the countdown would be going that your live class will get live in this much of time. Next page. And as Chetan sir told, Vikram sir also told that the recording of these live classes will be available. This is how this entire page would look like, and the countdown would be telling you that 36 hours are about to pass on. So you have to view those videos. And this is the notice board. It's in fact a notification page where you will be getting all the information regarding your test, your syllabus, any other information will be passed down. And this is the download section where you will be getting the soft copy of the material, the assignments, the study material we will be giving you chapter wise. All those things would be in the download section. So this will help you as a student to get all the academic things on one portal.
So essentially the BPMS platform is a learning ecosystem which provides you access not only to your live lectures, to the recorded sessions, to the notices or information, but the study material, but altogether a one-stop shop sort of a thing, wherein you will be having access to all the different facets of the Allen learning ecosystem. And then sir, quickly moving on to the next slide, which talks about our OLTS platform, wherein the students would also be able to appear for their minor and full length tests. So OLTS is a platform which talks about what has been the score in different minor and major tests, what your performance has been, what your areas of improvement could be. It talks about the complete performance analysis. So this is something that would be also available to you. Also, we do understand that in 9th and 10th standard, students do require the physical copy of the study material as well. So we'll be shipping the physical study material of Allen, the genuine study material, to students so that they can, practice on the physical copy format as well. If they want to annotate anything, if they want to mark anything, they have the flexibility to do that as well. I think, sir, we are almost at the cusp of completing this presentation. So just briefly talking about, we have talked about Olympiads, we have talked about competitive examinations like IIT, JEE or NEET. A lot of parents also do have a concern around what kind of school support would Allen provide.
I think we have already been covering this part, that without that basic knowledge of whatever has been taught in the NCERT, what is written in NCERT, it's actually the bottom line, it's the basic line from where we will be start building your competitiveness. So don't worry about that school part. The school curriculum, that NCERT theory is thoroughly covered. We give them the subjective test series in September and January. And as you can see, for students who will be moving to 10th class, we will be giving you comprehensive board workshop also before board examinations. Then you will be getting the board compendium, subjective assignments, and when the school exams would be approaching, we will be keeping our classes a little low on frequency. We may not give the classes during that time. So if you would see on our website, you will see that in September we have kept our class load very low, just because of the fact that we know that most of the school examinations would be in September. So we have covered you from all the aspects, whether it's school, whether it's competitiveness, whether it's test, whether it's live classes, and I think we all have covered all those aspects through this session to the parents. And now parents would be confident enough that they are not just associating their ward to a tuition center, rather it's an Allen Career Institute, which is this Allen Overseas program. So you are not just associating your ward for a tuition, you are giving them a competitive advantage which is required for their lifelong learning, lifelong any dream university or college they are aiming towards.
Absolutely. And I think we'll just quickly glance through the questions. Parents and students, if you have any questions, you
Yeah,
can quickly, we'll spend 5 minutes on that as well. Uh, Recording of the webinar, I
It's
think
already available on
available
Facebook.
on the Facebook and the YouTube pages of Alan Overseas. So please visit the social pages of Alan Overseas and you'll be able to get that.
This is one of the question Shivanshi has asked. Shivanshi Gohel, I'm planning to come to Kota. Which will be right decision? I think in the present time, it's quite uncertain,
Yes.
and so it is better you attend this digital program from the comfort of your home, and all the aspect of learning you are already getting through this online program. So there is no need to come down to Kota just to get that experience. So I think
the whole idea behind Alan Overseas is to make sure that the Kota expert faculties are available to you back at your homes, whether you're residing in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, wherever. So providing the same kind of physical class experience to the students back there in these 4 countries, and at the same time, obviously, you know, which is better, physical class or online? Obviously, if you have the right mentors in place, the right expert faculties in place, physical class do go a long way. But at the same time, if those expert faculties are able to come to your homes and teach you online, that is going to, you know, definitely be very, very helpful for the students out there.
Yes. I think Palak, we have already answered that. The same faculty members who have been teaching in Kota from so many years, we are taking those teachers would be taking classes.
Yeah, absolutely. On the material, will it be useful to go abroad? Absolutely, because this course will help you in not only develop the critical thinking, analytical thinking part of it, but also in general, as we said, NTSC, IJSOs, or Science Olympiads, Astronomy Olympiads will help you develop that overall well-rounded profile that eventually gets selected for the best of the colleges around the world. Study material part, I think
we have already said
that study material will be shipped once the admission window closes. We'll pile up the list of the students that are there. We'll reconfirm the delivery addresses with you, and then the study material will be dispatched.
Can we attempt IJSO, RMO and NTSC online, or do we need to come to India to write it? Sir, on this note, I would also want to, some of the parents have have these concerns, and they have put it across to us, wherein they say that through our school you can't appear for a certain Olympiad. So would you just like to talk about that?
I think as an Alan student, you will be given an exposure for many of the private Olympiads we will be conducting. And so it may happen that your school is not organizing those private Olympiads for you all. You can give those examinations enrolling as an Alan student. So we will be sharing those registration links with you, where you can register and then give these examinations.
So
and
I think the students get exclusive access after associating with Alan to these private Olympiads as well. So that is obviously an added advantage if you plan to appear for Olympiads, because they are going to help you in your admissions abroad to the top universities as well. So Alan as an ecosystem would be able to provide you that facility.
Absolutely. And I think some of the people have asked, we are facing difficulty in deciding medical or engineering. I think this association with us over 9th or 10th class will also help you consolidate your interest, and also with our guidance, with our mentorship, you will be able to identify which career option will be better for you guys. So absolutely, that is something that we definitely help on.
MCQ format, yes, most of the competitive exams are of MCQ format, as a very well example given by Vikram sir. So you can understand, they ask same thing in a different manner. So don't worry about it.
Is this only for engineering or medical? 9th and 10th are
holistic.
Is a holistic preparation which prepares you for the foundations of engineering or medical. You eventually have to decide on this in class 11th. So these are the 2 foundational years. We call this career foundation years. So which will help you decide will you want to go for engineering, medical, or anything else.
That's why we are giving SST and mental ability as a part of your teaching.
A strong focus of this stays on SST as well as mental ability and logical reasoning. So in case you would want to pursue something like liberal arts going forward, or humanities, or any of those fields as well, aptitude is a must, and social studies also is going to play a major role. So that's how we have designed our program. No matter what kind of field would you want to choose going forward, this is going to lay a very strong foundation for you.
Yeah.
I think fee and scholarship, any queries, you can reach out to your country representative. They will help you in giving all this information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for any academic concerns, you can also reach out to me, or for that matter, Vikram or Chetan sir. So you, for you as a parent, the first point of contact would be your country representative. Even if someone is not in touch, they can go to allenoverseas.com, and you need to select your country. You will get that country's representative's number, so that will help you a lot.
Will you provide career guidance classes?
Yes.
Oh yes, absolutely. It's a part of our program wherein we are continuously interacting with the students and telling them that what are the right careers to choose going forward, depending upon their inclinations and their performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you be giving NEET preparation during 10th class? So NEET preparation as such would start from 11th start onwards, but the foundation starts getting laid right from your 9th and 10th class. So obviously the foundation would be laid in 10th class, but the actual course for the NEET exam would be covered from class 11th onwards.
Alright, I think with that we have answered most of the queries. If there are any queries remaining, we encourage you to reach out to us over the phone or the email, and we will definitely be very prompt in answering all the queries that you guys have. With that, I think
any specific more queries down? I think we have covered all.
Yeah, we have covered most of them.
So I think we can now
Let's conclude. Thank you so much, parents and students, for connecting with us. Hope it was a valuable session for you people. You could get certain insights on whatever we have covered. In case you have any concerns, anything that you would want to highlight or would want to discuss, we are more than happy to do that. You can always write back to us, and Alan is always there to support you. So thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.